Hi students, and welcome to today's live IELTS class. My name is Adrian and I'm streaming to you from beautiful Victoria here in Western Canada. Today students, we are looking at an IELTS Speaking Part 1 section for the speaking interview of the exam. And this speaking part 1 will cover some common kinds of questions that you get asked in part 1. Often part 1 will focus on one general topic, like for instance, your hobbies or mathematics that you studied in school. And the odd time, they will ask you a few different questions, like the questions today that focus on hobbies, sports, and a couple other topics, I believe travel. Welcome Fuang, hi Anna, hi Mal, nice to see our members in the class. Welcome Carolina, our chat moderator, good to have you here with me today. Muzamil, Khan, Nisha, nice to have many students in the class. Everybody, as many of you know, this lesson is powered by our websites, aehelp.com for academic IELTS and gieltshelp.com for general IELTS. These are the websites that we use regularly. Our materials are on these websites. To join our premium version of the website, simply click this big red button here at aehelp.com. It is a one-time payment for lifetime access. You will get lots of practice exams, an interactive course, an app for your phone, and it really doesn't cost a lot. We're trying to help as many students as possible pass the IELTS exam. We're an IDP affiliate. We're a British Council partner, an IELTS test registration center. I'm a British Council agent. You are in great hands with us. So click that button, use the code from our most recent successful release, Master 9, to get an extra 10% off. And you are ready to learn for your upcoming IELTS test. General IELTS, it's gieltshelp.com. It's the green background. Click that big red button, and again, you are good to go. Students, the apps that link to these websites are Academic IELTS Help, that will link to aehelp.com, and General IELTS Help. There's lots of materials there to help you with the speaking section. Instagram is IELTS_AEhelp and GIELTS Help. Here's a blog from our website that you can look at for what Band 9 answers should look like for speaking part 1. This blog is free for everybody, so check it out when you have a moment. Of course, students, you can get our course through YouTube as well by clicking on the shopping and checking out through Shopify. If you get the course through Shopify, just be sure to send me an email so we can activate your account. Adrian@aehelp.com and admin@aehelp.com. If you have questions about the IELTS or about speaking, go ahead and send us an email. We love answering questions. We love helping students around the world, and we usually reply within 24 hours. Again, speaking part 1 right now, everybody can join the chat. We will practice speaking through the website or through Zoom. We'll see which one works best. And tomorrow we'll have task 2 writing for our members. To become a channel member, click the join button next to the subscribe button. It's free to subscribe. Definitely subscribe, as tomorrow we will have listening part 3 and 4 from our, I believe, first exam tomorrow for our subscribers. And then we'll have speaking part 2 for members and speaking part 3 for everyone on Saturday. Very successful speaking video that we had just uploaded a few days ago is this here. This is showing you and giving you some tips on children's ability to speak well and how you can copy some of those skills in your IELTS exam to really improve your scores. Okay, let's get into IELTS speaking part 1. So I'd like to do a lot of practice with you today. We're going to go through these questions nice and smooth for the first few questions, just to warm up, to give you some ideas on what to do in your IELTS speaking section. We will use the chat and I will help you with some answers. you go to your IELTS speaking exam, show up early, like 1 hour before the test starts, so you can start speaking English about an hour before you meet with the examiner. Talk to other candidates. If you have a friend, a tutor, somebody who speaks English that you can speak to, that's also great. The best is to speak with other candidates because that will also help you to build your confidence, to get the feeling of talking with a stranger. The examiner is also a stranger, just like other candidates. So when you see other candidates kind of walking around, looking nervous, you can say, hey, are you here for the IELTS test? So am I. Can we practice? Definitely one of them will say, sure, yeah, that's a good idea. And then you can practice, and you can start with this question because this will be the first question the examiner asks you. May I see your identification? Practice your full sentences. Let's get into it. Let's go. May I see your identification? Yes, of course. Here is my passport that I used to register for this test. Please have a look at my details. Okay, now everybody, this is speaking. So copy what I say, copy how I say it, repeat. Nice and loud, repeat and speak. Okay. That's what you need to do. Develop has this answer for us. Love the handle. Develop. Develop says, gladly, here is my identification. Please have a look. Yeah, that's great. Okay, that's a full sentence. You don't need to overdo it, but it should be a full, clear sentence. So develop, yeah, that's good for that first question. Absolutely. Fatima says, what if we fail to become confident while talking to the examiner? Fatima, that could result in issues. When we lack confidence, it's hard to achieve our goals. That could be in the IELTS speaking, that could be in a job interview, or in many other situations. Confidence is key, so you need to work on that. It's okay to be a bit nervous, but you don't want to be too nervous, and you should use strategies to be confident. So get good sleep, take some deep breaths, remember that you deserve to be there. You've practiced a lot of English. You can't improve English in 24 hours, so no need to worry anyways. Okay? All right. Let's take one more. Deborah, nice to see you in the class. Deborah's very studious these days. It's lovely to see. Deborah says, yes, here is my Ghana card that I used to register for the exam about 8 weeks ago. Please take a look at it. It's one exam, so not exams. And I think it's your Ghana ID card or national card. So you need to make sure that you are accurate with those first few questions. NLS Cade, welcome to our group of members. I see Carolina also welcoming you there. Hi, Domenico. Good to have you joining us. All right, once you show your card, or while you're showing your card in the face-to-face exam, the examiner will ask you, what is your full name? Please give your full name and tell them what you want to be called. My whole name is Logan Smithers. Please call me by my first name, Logan. Okay. Again, you don't need to overdo it, but it is a professional situation. You need to sound professional. Do not introduce yourself like you are talking to a pal at a party or your classmate. Okay. Redexar, yes, you do have to bring your identification to the computer-based exam, but the examiner will not ask you for it. You register check-in before that. You definitely have to bring your identification, Redexar. You just won't have to show it to the examiner. You show it beforehand. Okay? All right. Marcus Antonius has this answer for us. My full name is Marcus Antonius. Please call me by my first name, Marcus. Yeah, don't forget that my, Marcus. It's important, okay? Students, although technically the examiner is not marking for these first few questions, they're definitely measuring your English level, your communication, your ability to speak, okay? It's very hard for an examiner not to think about your English if you're making mistakes introducing yourself and showing your passport. So make sure that you have clear, grammatically accurate answers for these first few questions. Practice them regularly, and when you're in the exam, imagine that you're hearing them for the first time. So don't look at the examiner with a bored face and be like, yeah, I heard that question a million times. Here's my identification. Have a look. Yeah, my name is Marcus Antonius. Please just call me Marcus. Okay. Examiners use a lot of energy. They need energy. Don't try to take their energy. Be loud. Be you. Give it an extra 10%. Okay? All right. Then the examiner will say, for the speaking section, I will give you instructions for each of the 3 parts. For part 1, I will ask you a couple of questions to get to know you better. Some questions on a general topic. Do you work or study? Now here again, use the question, give a full sentence answer, emphasize your answers with correlative conjunctions. Correlative conjunctions are paired conjunctions, joining words, like both and, not only, but also, like not only have I been employed as an administrator at a tech firm for the last 5 years, but I am also in the process of pursuing my master's studies abroad in finance. That's why I'm taking this IELTS exam. For my entry requirements. Okay, lots of ways to answer these questions. Make sure to give full sentence answers. Again, make sure to practice them in lots and lots of different ways. Okay, so here I'm using the not only but also. And again, these kinds of paired conjunctions are called your correlative conjunctions. Use them, practice them. They sound great in professional speech because they show that you can emphasize language. It means give information in a stronger format or in an emphasized format. Okay, so that's just a quick tip to start. Use correlative conjunctions to emphasize language. Okay. And the reason that's good is because the examiners interview lots of candidates, so they hear lots of information, and it all kind of starts to sound like one big piece of information. So when a candidate is able to use more advanced grammar, vocabulary, emphasis, then suddenly the examiner, out of their kind of sleepy, I've heard this a million times, mentality, they go, oh, somebody's talking to me. Sounds good. I want to give them a good score. Okay, so use good language. Show them that you can use both formal and colloquial language. I talked about that the other day. So show your formal language first and then show your everyday language second. I want to do my master's. I want to become a computer engineer and a professor of computer science. Okay, so use both of your professional and colloquial language in the exam. All right. Lovely, Yadav. Indeed. Yadav says, well, I'm doing work and study both. I'm working as a nurse and simultaneously I'm pursuing my master science as well. Okay. Lovely Yadav has a couple of mistakes here. Let's help correct them. Identifying mistakes in your speaking as well as in the speech or English of others is a very good way to improve. What's the first mistake here that the examiner is going to notice with Yadav's response? There's one that immediately sticks out. Yadav. And again, writing, speaking, they're both language expression. So combining both when you're learning accurate communication and language is a really good idea. And I hope you're not just reading, everybody. I hope you're speaking as well. So speak and repeat, right? This is speaking. So make sure, again, to speak and repeat. Copy what I say, copy how I say it. Okay? All right? So what's the mistake there? Anybody catch that? Let's help Yadav. Yadav says, well, I'm doing work and study both. I'm working as a nurse and simultaneously I'm pursuing my master science as well. Okay. There's a couple of very clear mistakes. Yeah, so Carolina is giving everybody a little bit of assistance here. Carolina says, pay attention to your INGs, your progressive form. I am doing work. In English, it's very important that you have what's called parallel grammar when you have points that you're listing. So, and I'm studying. Okay. And this first one here, Yadav, I would use the am without the contraction. So I am to emphasize. And then the second one, I would use it as a contraction, like I'm. So I would say, well, I am doing work and I'm studying. I'm working as a nurse and simultaneously I'm pursuing my master's of science as well. That's your correct English. Okay, everybody? So repeat after me. Well, I am doing work and I'm studying. I'm working as a nurse and simultaneously I'm pursuing my master's of science as well. Okay? Domenico, let's see what you're up to these days. Domenico says, I currently hold a dual role as a marine biologist while pursuing a PhD in marine mammal monitoring and coral restoration. I find it truly gratifying to have transformed my passion for marine life into a profession. Sure, I didn't see the end of that, Domenico, so I just finished it for you, but it's looking great. All right. Domenico is in a dual role, PhD and marine biologist. Great. By the way, Domenico, hats off. Coral restoration, the world definitely needs that as our coral reefs are lost every day in great numbers. So I am very, very glad to hear that brilliant, smart, ambitious people like yourself are working on restoring coral, the coral reefs. Okay, if you don't know this word, everybody, in English, check it out. Coral and coral reef. Corals are a type of animal that live in the oceans. They're small, tiny little animals that build coral reefs. Okay. All right, students, so again, as we get into the questions, just a quick reminder that all of this content and a lot of this advice, or all of this advice that I'm giving you and much, much more, can be found on our websites at aehelp.com. And for those of you who have joined the premium version, definitely go to your My Student account, go to your full online course when you're doing the speaking, and go through all of the speaking parts. Okay, there's some really interesting and important advice there for everybody, namely how you should approach the exam. Okay, so attitude is very important in the speaking section. You have to speak with a loud voice. Okay, little bit louder than your usual. So whatever your usual voice is, add about 10%. So add 10% to it and speak really clearly. They're recording your speaking. You don't need to rush. Okay. Trying to speak fast is usually not a good idea. Show confidence and show feelings. So don't speak with a flat voice, but really kind of emphasize, especially in the computer-based exam. Okay, there's a reason I say that. In the computer-based exam, you're talking through the screen, and the general rule is that the screen removes about 10% of emotions, okay? So especially if you're doing the speaking computer-based, make sure to give it like a little bit of extra effort, because the screen really does filter or remove your emotional levels, and emotions are important for comprehending, okay? So I know there's a lot of videos out there that say body language doesn't get measured, so don't pay attention to it. Communication includes body language, it includes emotions, it includes voice clarity. All of those combine for coherence, meaning understanding what you say. So even though you don't get marked on your emotions and you don't get marked on your body language, it definitely affects your speech. And English is considered a tonal language. And you have to remember that. English spoken flat or monotone becomes very unclear for native speakers. Okay, that's a little bit of an important tip. And again, that's something that you'll find in your premium course as well. You can also buy that through Shopify here on YouTube and get these great tips that you don't find elsewhere. And in fact, sometimes you hear them in a wrong way from other places, right? So body language and feelings are important for your end score, even though they are not marking them officially. They play a major role in coherence because English is tonal. And I'll prove that to you. Does anybody like listening to songs in English? Like, do you listen to music in English? Do you enjoy English songs and English music? I'm guessing a lot of people do. Okay, Mal says yes. English music isn't just popular because it's English and there's America and the US, but it's popular because it has emotions, right? So many people enjoy music in English, French, Spanish, Italian, because these are emotional and tonal languages. They are a part of the communication. So you should practice that, okay, before your IELTS exam. It will impact your score, all right? Does that make sense, everybody? Okay. Some languages are flat, some languages are extremely expressive. You have to find that right tone, okay? All right, now let's get into these general questions. So again, as I said at the start of the class, often speaking part 1 will discuss one general topic, like let's talk about computers, or let's talk about colors. And at certain times, for some of you who have sat the IELTS exam, you've realized this, you get some more general questions. So maybe the examiner will say, let's talk about everyday situations. Or everyday topics. What do you do at the weekends? Okay. Give me a nice full sentence answer for this one. What do you do at the weekends? All right. Anahita, nice to have you in the class. Anahita says, at the weekends, I go for a stroll in a park called Victory near my house because it has beautiful flowers and a small fountain which give me a sense of tranquility. Tomorrow I will go there to unwind after this stressful test day. Okay, Anahita, that's good. Phuong. It's a nice answer, Anahita. Your grammar is getting very accurate. Well done. Okay, Phuong. Good job, members. Membership pays off, and I'm not just saying that. I can see that a lot of our members who are here regularly day in, day out, and doing this for several weeks, several months, I can clearly see your English going bop, 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 bop. Good for you. Phuong says, well, on the weekends, I usually spend the whole day either having dinner with my family or going shopping with my buddies. On Saturdays, I usually go hiking or go swimming with my friends far away. Last weekend, I went to Illusion Lake, about an hour drive from my home. Okay, let's include a nice example there to finish up that answer, and then you've got that band 9. That's what a band 9 answer sounds like, everybody. And thumbs up to Phuong for paying attention and using this correlative conjunction. The examiner will definitely catch these. Okay, so when you use either or, neither nor, whether or, the examiner's got good ears. They will catch them. They will catch the grammar. They will catch the words. That's what they're trained to do. They're not just kind of paying attention to you. Okay. All right, Cornelia. Lovely name. Cornelia says, I often stay at home to work on personal projects, and if I have the time, I will try to go out with my friends and try to catch up with everyone's life. Okay, Cornelia, quite good. Nice use of natural language. I'm going to fix it a tiny bit here. So I often stay at home to work on personal projects, and if I have time, I will try to go out with my friends and catch up with them. This is the natural way to say that, Cornelia. Now, when you're in the IELTS exam, a really good strategy is to think about what the examiner is thinking about. Okay, that sounds, I know, what? But you should. It's not just the examiner, but your listener, okay? So think about what your listener is thinking about. In this case, the examiner. This is called empathetic speaking. Okay, and it's very good for high band scores because it really focuses on coherence. It's kind of like, okay, well, what are they thinking? What is in their head? Are they thinking, I'm talking too much, I should stop talking? Are they thinking, what is this person talking about right now? That doesn't make sense. Or are they thinking a specific question? Cornelia, I definitely have a question in my head if you say this to me. So if I'm your examiner and you're sitting in front of me, Cornelia, and you say, I often stay at home to work on personal projects, and if I have the time, I will try to go out with my friends and catch up with them. There's definitely a question that comes into my head that I would love to hear, and I would probably look at you for an extra second to see if you realize and answer this for me, and if not, I would go to the next question. What do you think? Nice to see you in the class. So what do you think, everybody? What's the question that I'm thinking about here if Cornelia tells me that? Yeah, Carolina was, I think, very curious as well, because it seems like Carolina had that question already in the chat before I asked. So yeah, it's when we really pay attention, it's obvious. We're like, oh yeah, of course, they're going to be thinking that, right? So Carolina, I agree with you. That would definitely be the question in my head as well. Yeah, so what kind of personal project are you working on, right? Like, are you building a new fence, a doghouse? What do you have going? You have some painting that's in progress, or what's happening? What's this? You've made me curious. What's this personal project? It's good. It's good to make the examiner curious. However, you definitely want to fulfill that curiosity, okay? So let's add that here. It is great to make the examiner curious, but you must make sure to satisfy that curiosity. Okay? So if you tell me that you're working on personal projects, I definitely want to hear what kind of personal project you're working on. So currently, I'm building a doghouse in the yard or in the backyard for our latest family member, a little golden retriever called Rosie. I just totally made that up, but I could see that. As you can tell, I'm a dog lover. I would love to have a little pet dog at some point in the next couple of years. I'm sure I'll be looking to add that to our family, but we can only imagine and dream for now if you're in my shoes. So this would be the example here, Cornelia. I often stay at home to work on personal projects, and if I have the time, I will try to go out with my friends and catch up with them. Currently, I'm building a doghouse in the backyard for our latest family member, a little golden retriever called Rosie. Okay, now you're at a band 9. Now I'm like, okay, cool. You work on projects. You've got a doghouse project on the go. Okay, nice. All right, and then into some more general questions. What are your hobbies? Give me a nice full sentence answer for this one. Alexander, I see your answer for the previous. At the weekends, I visit my 92-year-old grandma in the morning. At the evening, I like to watch movies in English or NBA, NHL games with my favorite teams. That's awesome. Alexander, I hope you like watching the Vancouver Canucks. They're a great team this year. Okay. What are your hobbies? Reno Torbayeva says, I have a couple of hobbies. I especially like riding horses or hanging out with my friend. Just 2 days ago, I went for a fun ride on one of my friends who are Lehman. We spent quality time together. Okay. For a second there, I thought you were actually like on your friend riding them around. Woohoo! So you have to be really careful what you say. I literally thought you were like doing like a piggyback ride like that. And you're like, woohoo, go, mush you. So that's what I thought was happening. I get you, Reno. So I have a couple of hobbies. I especially like riding horses or hanging out with my friend. Just 2 days ago, I went for a fun ride. I went for a fun horseback ride. I would add that here, even though you said it before. With one of my friends. That with there is extremely important. With one of my friends, Herliman, we spent quality time together. Okay. Very nice. Okay. All right. And then, like I said, in some of the IELTS exams, you kind of have to be ready for these switch up questions. So suddenly, instead of talking more about hobbies, they'll ask you something like, how often do you play sports? Give me a nice full sentence answer for this one. So how often do you play sports? Now, again, a very important tip here, everybody, is use numbers. Okay, so frequently, 5 times a week. All right. You can give the quality, like rarely, never, sometimes, often. So these are adverbs of frequency, they're called, right? And they're qualitative. Like if you say I sometimes play sports, then I'm kind of like once a week, once a month, once a year. What is that, right? So you have to give numbers. Numbers are really good. Okay. An is saying this. An says, I love playing badminton whenever I have leisure time or I don't have assignments to do. Currently, I am training in this sport to prepare for the competition at school in the following week. Yeah, and I would say instead of competition, I would say for the badminton tournament. Okay, that's what it's more specific than the competition. So they're called badminton tournaments. If you don't know that collocation, now you do. You can use it. Okay, so badminton tournament. Yeah, it's good. All right, no, it's a nice fast answer, An. I loved it. Okay. All right. Alexander has this answer for us. Alexander says, I used to play basketball every day during my childhood. Currently, unfortunately, I'm enjoying sports only as a spectator. Since I have injured my knees and I have little time for them. Okay, just finishing that answer there, Alexander. Okay, sure, you can do that. You can say that. It indirectly answers the question quite well, but just be very, very careful. It's good to answer directly. I would probably start with, I rarely play sports these days. Maybe just once or twice a year. Okay, so it is a good idea, students, in the IELTS. I mean, in everyday life, we don't always directly answer questions. It actually leads us to a lot of our headaches and arguments that were indirect in our answers. On the IELTS, however, you want to directly answer questions, okay? So unlike everyday life, where we often indirectly answer questions, on IELTS, you should focus on direct answers using the question. Okay, does that make sense, everybody, what I mean by that? So it is one of the weird, and you know, again, this is another advantage of children's speech that I didn't emphasize in that video. Children haven't really learned to indirectly answer questions or manipulate the answers. They tend to be a lot more direct. Your haircut looks terrible. What? In the IELTS, that's what works, is direct language. Okay, adults tend to manipulate language because we have ulterior motives. We don't want to insult the person, right? So an adult will speak like this. They say like, yeah, your new haircut looks okay. It's quite unique. Okay, the child will say, your haircut looks bad. It does not suit your face. Okay, and funnily enough, in the IELTS exam, it's actually the latter. It's the child's way that you want to practice, okay? This kind of language, first of all, it's quite tricky to do in English or in any other language that is not your first language. Secondly, it's confusing even in a native speaking situation oftentimes. So the person will be like, so do you like my haircut or don't you like my haircut, right? Like they might put you on the spot. But with a child, there's no question. They just give it to you straight, right? Your haircut looks bad. It does not suit your face. I liked it better when you had long hair. Okay, so you need to be direct. Abraham says, can we say it like that? Abraham, it's not can we say it like that, it's you should say it like that, okay? In professional conversations, we do not like to beat around the bush. Get to the point, right? So remember that. IELTS is a professional conversation. And in professional settings, we do not like to beat around the bush. This is an expression where you ignore the focus of what you're saying. So we do not like to beat around the bush. Be direct, okay? It doesn't mean you have to be honest, okay? But you have to be direct. Does that make sense? Domenico says yes. Okay, let's jump to another question here. So increasing grammatical difficulty happens in every IELTS speaking test. As you get later in the questions, they become grammatically more and more challenging. So as you start to near the end of part one, you'll get questions like this. Have you ever traveled to a tropical country? Okay. Obviously, this question is in present perfect. Answer it in present perfect immediately. Yes, I have. Or no, I haven't. Okay, again, kind of like what we just spoke about. Be very direct, like a child, right? Yes, I have. No, I haven't. Okay. Yes, I have. I've been to several tropical regions of the world, including Thailand and Costa Rica. I like warm weather and I like to swim in tropical oceans because it is loads of fun and there are so many colorful fish. Okay. So, yes, I have, no, I haven't. And then notice how first I use the very clear present perfect. Yes, I have. And then I contract. I've been to. Again, this is a type of emphasis, and it's emphasizing using the grammar of the question. So the examiner is going to give you really good scores for grammatical range and accuracy. Yes, I have. I've been to several tropical regions of the world, including Thailand and Costa Rica. I like warm weather, and I like to swim in tropical oceans because it is loads of fun, and there are so many colorful fish. Jade said, I watched your daughter's interview a few days ago. It helped a lot. I have a clear big picture in my head so I know what I need to do. Jade, that is awesome. Thank you for that feedback. Again, the video that Jade is talking about and that I have referred to in this class a couple of times about learning to speak through the eyes of a child is this one here. That was a really fun project that I did with my daughter Sabella over the last little bit, and there's definitely some good learning points there. She's like, Dad, I want to make a video. I want to make a video, and I was like, and I'm like, oh, wait a second. Of course, kids, they're pretty good at speaking and learning languages. There are reasons for that. Okay. One of the reasons is they speak direct. Kids are very direct in their speech. If kids were not direct, it would be very tricky for them to pick up communication. Okay. Anna has an answer for us to this question. Anna says, no, I haven't, because I have little experience of traveling abroad, but given the chance, I would wish I would visit the Maldive Islands, the Maldives, we just say, or the Maldive Islands, as it is not too far away, and I've heard a lot of great stories from my friends who have been there. Okay, Anna, this is a great start that you had here. I definitely suggest adding this here. I've heard a lot of great stories from my friends who have been there. Okay. And the reason I suggest adding that is because look at the present perfect. You'd have 1, 2 more cases of the present perfect with a short little extra sentence there. And now the examiner's like, oh, present perfect. Oh, wait, present perfect again. Oh, present perfect again. This student knows complex grammar in English. They can contract it. They can emphasize it. Check, check, check. Right? So you're getting a good score. All right? That's what you want to do. You're there to show your best English. So show it. Fuang, I'm glad I got a little chuckle going for you there today. All right, everybody. So that's how the speaking works. And again, there's tons of tips there for you. Now, we're going to use our website to actually practice these. We're going to do our best. And today I've got a backup plan because we have had a couple of hiccups as we're developing some aspects of the website. So if the website isn't doing justice, then we'll switch to Zoom, okay? But for now, let's start with the website first. That way I can see where our premium students are. So this is how we practice speaking for real. Go to aehelp.com. Oh, Carolina, you are so fast. Carolina just put all the instructions in the chat for you. So you go to the website. The website, again, looks like this. The homepage will look like this. You'll see me there. Surprise, surprise. And then you can join the premium version by clicking the big red button here. Right above my head. If you're like me, I don't know about this guy. Then you can click the green button and sign up for free. You just need your name and email. And then you can enter your My Student account. In your My Student account, you will see lots and lots and lots of goodies. And you have this test glider here as well underneath the Student Partner Speaking, by the way, everybody. Anahita, I think you're probably using it every day, and I think it's really awesome. So check out Test Glider. It's behind me if you're on the website. But anyway, right now, we're using the Student Partner Speaking. So this is where we want to be. Student Partner Speaking, click on it, accept the terms. The terms are basically that you are going to be polite and speak nicely and be respectful of everybody. I'm going to use my headset here, which is always a good idea. And then you'll see some of your classmates in here. We have a lot of premium students in here. You see Manikanta, Mariam, Ivan, Maya, Andres, Rahman. And then you can volunteer, send me a message, say, hey, I want to volunteer. Find me first. I'm going to be in here as master. And when you find that master, then click on the blue envelope there and say, I want to try or give me a shot at this, and I will get you going. Okay. Maya, you are pretty quick. Let's check in. I haven't heard from you in a while. Maya, are you ready? I'm shouting it at you. Maya, are you ready? Let me take the caps lock off. All right. Okay, Maya, give me a sign if you're there. Then we'll... Funny, Maya. Maya says, yes, I am. That's the attitude, Maya. Right.
Hello.
Hi, Maya. How are you?
Hi, Jen. I'm fine. How about you?
I'm good, Maya. I haven't heard from you in a while. Is everything
Oh,
going
yeah,
well?
but so thank you for giving me chance. I cannot volunteer much because of my schedule. So
Busy
thank
these
you.
days. Okay.
Busy, busy, yes.
Is it a good busy, Maya?
Student life.
Very, see what I mean about adults and their answers, right? Remember, if you're watching, I talked about a kid will be like, yes, I have a headache from all of the studying I'm doing. But adults,
Yes.
it's student life. We're very, it's funny
Yes.
how we're like that when we're adults. We're kind of almost scared to just give a straight answer to people. And it's kind of weird, but on the
Yeah,
IELTS,
yeah,
go
because
ahead,
their
Maya.
responsibility. Because their responsibility for each our words.
You know, Maya, that's actually a really good point. So Maya said, and listen up, everybody, because that was a really good point Maya just said. Maya said the reason why adults don't speak directly, why we kind of manipulate what we say, is because we feel responsible. So we become ashamed or scared, or we feel that fear that there will be a bad
Yeah.
outcome, right?
Hurt feelings.
Or hurt feelings, exactly. Now, that's a really good point, actually, Maya, because on the IELTS, you don't have to care about that. So on the IELTS, unless you do something really strange, which of course you should not do, you won't hurt the examiner's feelings. The examiner in this way is kind of like a robot. Like if you give an opinion that they disagree with, or if you give them a very straight answer, like I'm busy these days and because I'm doing a lot of work at school and actually it's a big headache, I'm not enjoying it, the examiner is not going to say, "Oh, you get a band 6 because you're a bad student." So they're not going to
Okay.
do that. So you're not going to hurt their feelings, and so you can speak with the examiner much more directly than people in your everyday life, like your professor, if they're asking you that, right? And that will help your score, okay? Because it's coherent. It's
Okay.
it's much more coherent. So that's actually a really good point, Maya. Okay, Maya, are you ready for a couple of questions?
Yes, I am.
All right, let's do it. So, welcome to the speaking section of the exam. My name is Adrian. I will be your examiner. May I see your identification?
Yes, certainly. Here is my passport. Please have a look.
What is your full name?
My given name is Maya. My surname is Bashpinar. Please call me Maya.
Okay, Maya. For part one, I will ask you a couple of questions to get to know you better and some questions on a general topic. How often do you play sports?
Oh, unfortunately, I don't play sport. U- Usually, I don't play any kind of sports. I just sometimes can go to walking or running to a park.
Have you ever been to a tropical country?
No, I have not. I have not traveled to any country yet, to be honest. But I'm planning to visit Singapore in the future.
Okay, Maya. Let me give you an estimate of your band score. So your band score for these answers would be about a 7.5 to an 8. Okay. And I know you have quite good speech, and I know I've scored you, I think, even as high as an 8, 8.5. So you want to make sure that you're consistent. Definitely practice. Don't so no matter how busy you get with school, make sure you're always using English, okay? Because English is a golden key. All knowledge will at some point rely on your English or your ability to express that knowledge in English, okay? So never. I know it's sometimes hard to keep investing the same amount of time, but really try, okay? All right, so that would be about a band 7.5 to 8. It's quite fluent, quite natural. Um, I can tell that you're basically thinking in English when you're speaking in English. That's really a good sign for those band 7.5 or higher scores when the examiner feels that the candidate is thinking in English, not in another language and translating. But there were a couple of issues with accuracy and with coherence. let me give you a little bit more detailed feedback here, and pay attention, everybody, because we learn from each other. So first, when I asked you, can I see your identification? That was very clear. You said, yes, certainly. Here's my passport. Please have a look. Very natural. When I asked you for your full name, you kind of got a little bit stuck in your
Yes.
thinking, but then you spoke, and that was no problem. That was still a band 9. It's okay to get stuck and restart, and it's natural. We do that in communication as well. Then I asked you, how often do you play sports? And I think that question was kind of catching you off guard a little bit. You said, oh, unfortunately, I don't play sports. And then you said, I just sometimes can go to walking or to running to a park. Here, the grammar was
Yes.
off. Okay. I just sometimes go for a walk or to run at a park, or I just sometimes go walking or running at a park would be the natural grammar. Can you repeat after me? I just sometimes go walking or running at a park near my home.
I just sometimes can go walking or running
No, no,
at a
no.
park
Don't go with
near
say
my.
can go. Just a sec. I'm going to stop you. Take out the can, okay? Let me type it out. So I just sometimes go walking or running. You wouldn't
I
say
just
can go. It's strange. Okay, so I just sometimes go walking or running to a park near my home.
I just sometimes go walking or running to a park nearby my home,
Okay, that's
near my home.
natural, right? Yeah, English has some
Mhm.
very specific rules around using can and do, because in certain situations it's included, right? So if you're walking, then you obviously can go for a walk. So it's different. Now, beyond the grammatical issue here, right, there's also a logistical. And this is where you have to be really careful. Errors in logic will be confusing in any language, right? So here you tell me, oh,
Mhm.
unfortunately, I don't play sports. And then without even using a conjunction like however, right, at minimum, or
Mhm.
nevertheless, at minimum, needs to be here, you actually tell me the opposite. You say, I just sometimes go walking. And I get what you're saying. Like you're saying, oh, almost never, but you kind of do. And this is that type of interpretation that's awkward. So you have to be careful. Do you see where I'm going with that, Maya? So
Mhm.
instead
Yes.
of saying, unfortunately, I don't play sports, I would say, oh, unfortunately, I rarely uh, play sports or do physical activities because of my um, busy schedule. Now it makes sense, right? Because if you tell me I don't, and then you tell me you go running, then my question to you, if we were in like a job interview, is, so what is it? Do you not, or do you sometimes? Right? Do you see what I'm saying?
Yes.
Right?
Mhm.
So, and in that sense, IELTS speaking is like a job interview. It has to be logical. It has to be sensible, right? We don't have the room for discussion like in an everyday conversation. So just repeat this after me, Maya. Oh, unfortunately, I rarely play sports or do physical activities these days because of my busy schedule. I just sometimes go walking or running at the park near my home. Last time I had this chance was like 3 weeks ago.
Okay.
How often do you,
Oh,
I know, Maya, right? Right? You get yourself into trouble with these ideas. How often do you play sports?
oh, unfortunately, I rarely play sport or do some physical activities because of my busy schedule. I just sometimes go walking or running to a park near my home.
The last time?
The last time when I went, what was that?
Just finish it. Running was like 3 weeks ago.
Running was just like 3 weeks ago.
Perfect. That would
My,
be your
my
band
last
9.
running.
No, 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 no. That
Okay.
was perfect. That would be your band 9 answer, okay? So there's that last part again. The last time I went running was like 3 weeks ago.
Last time my running was 3 weeks ago.
Okay, perfect. Yeah, just a simple,
When
simple
when
example.
okay.
Hmm.
When I'm talking to myself, when I'm alone, to practice, it's okay. But when I'm talking to you, I'm getting stuck. I'm forgetting the words.
You're doing just fine, Maya. You're doing just fine. I'm pushing you because I'm pushing you from a good to very good to an expert level, and that requires pushing, right? So in
Yes.
like with any activity that we do, when we're going for that master level in that activity, we really have to push, right? So it's not a problem, Maya. You're doing fantastic, and I'm very happy that with the energy that you have remaining after all of your hard studies, you're here and you're investing that last bit of energy into improving your English. So good for you. Thank you for volunteering.
Thank you, Eddie. Thank you.
All right. Bye, Maya.
And it's
Yeah?
okay.
I'm listening, Maya.
I just wanted to say it's always different talking with you and with somebody who's not native speaker. For example, if I talk with Anna, my brain tend to switch to Russian language, and with you, it's easier to speak in English. With her, it's a bit difficult.
Um,
So
Go ahead, Maya. Finish. Yeah.
it's better. I mean, to practice with native speaker. I want to say.
I think both have their advantages and disadvantages. I do agree that there's definitely an advantage to immersing yourself in a language with native speakers. Absolutely, there's no question about that. I would be a fool to say otherwise. However, there are a lot of benefits. English, and here's another. So Maya, you always bring up these ideas in my head. An important thought to keep in mind, and this is for everybody. Currently in the world today, there are 600 million native speakers of English, and there are over 2 billion non-native speakers of English, and a lot of those 2 billion speak English even better than many of the 600 million native speakers of English. So it's an interesting world we live in. So it's really important to just be comfortable with English regardless of who you're speaking to, Maya. Okay?
Okay.
Right? So keep practicing, and if Anna's there to practice with you, definitely grab the opportunity, right?
Okay.
All right. Okay,
Thank
Maya.
you, Adrian.
Thank you.
for
Bye
your
for
time.
now.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye. All right, everybody. That was Maya. Give Maya a thumbs up in the chat, like Anahita just did. She brought up some really important points. Alexander, I know you tried to volunteer yesterday and I couldn't get a hold of you. Let's see if we have better luck today. So, Alexander, are you there? Let's check in with Alexander. See if he's with us. Thank you, by the way, volunteers. You're doing fantastic. For those of you just joining in, we're practicing IELTS speaking through our website. Hi, Alexander.
Hi, Adrian. How are you doing?
I'm doing great, Alexander. How are you doing?
As good as can be.
Nice. As good as can be. Have you caught any good NHL or NBA games recently?
Oh, unfortunately, my favorite team, Golden State Warriors, is in big, not big, but unfortunate line, unfortunate period of time. They're losing every game by 1 point or some hours. So no, not so good. But my now favorite team in NHL, New York Rangers, is doing well. So I'm quite happy.
The
And
Rangers, yes,
yeah,
one of the big enemies of the Vancouver Canucks.
but Vancouver is one of my second grade favorite because of some
Thanks, Alexander. Thanks,
Russian guys.
Alexander.
No, one of my favorite player, Nikita Zadorov, recently joined Canucks, so I'm quite happy for him.
Yeah, and we beat the San Jose Sharks 10-1, which is
Yeah,
I think, a new
you're
NHL
doing well.
record.
You're doing well. So still so far in the playoff zone. Yeah, it's okay.
Yeah,
It should be
absolutely.
fine, I guess. Yeah.
Well, since you said that, Alexander, I'll keep choosing you for volunteering since you told me that
Oh,
you like
by the way,
games.
maybe you should remember Pavel Bure as
Oh,
one
yes,
of the
of
best Vancouver
course I
teams.
remember
Yeah.
Pavel. He's the Russian
Maybe,
rocket, we used to call him.
maybe history Geo 80. I mean, one of the best, I think.
Yeah,
Yeah.
His
So,
nickname, Alexander, was the Russian rocket. Super
right,
fast player. Yeah.
right.
All right. Enough hockey talk. We're probably going to lose all of our viewers. Like, hockey? What is that?
Let me try.
All right. Are there any sports you would like to try?
Let me think a bit. I never tried golf, and I know many people who do play golf, and as you presumably know, it's kind of fashion for some business people. But somehow I have not tried it yet. So hopefully one day I will enjoy golfing and talking during golf game.
When is a good time for you to go on a trip?
Let me think a bit as well. What is? Let me clarify. What is the best time?
Yes.
You mean day of a week or season?
Sure. Any.
When I was active in my business, I preferred to travel on Monday, and to be returned back by weekends home. So it was quite nice schedule, keeping balance between working process and personal life.
Okay, let's stop there. I'll give you some feedback. All right. Very good, Alexander. That's very good. My one tip here is speak with confidence. What you're saying is good. Be confident in what you say, okay? Your language is becoming clear. Your phrasing is becoming more accurate the more you're practicing. So speak with confidence. Always speak with confidence. And that goes for everybody who's out there listening. Whether you're making a mistake or if you're not making a mistake, speak with confidence. In fact, especially speak with confidence if you're making a mistake. There's a reason I say that. It sounds funny to say that, right? Like, why would I be confident when I'm making a mistake? Because if you make a mistake and you don't sound confident, it's really hard to understand what you're trying to say. If you're making a mistake, but you sound confident, I might still be able to figure out what you're trying to say. Do you get the strange irony in that, Alexander? Right?
Well, compared to Maya, feel very uncomfortable talking to you.
Now that's childhood honesty, Alexander. That's what I want to hear. That's what I want to hear.
I am losing my length as soon as I start, because really I am afraid to make mistakes, and I
Don't
don't like
be.
to receive low mark, and
No, don't
etc.
be.
My esteem is damaging every time. So, but I'm doing all
Don't
my
be.
best, and I really, let's say, I still continue. Don't worry.
Alexander, this is not a hockey game. I'm not going to cross-check you. I'm not going to drop the gloves and throw my helmet. Okay, it's not going to happen. No, speak confidently. Speak confidently.
I'll
Okay,
try.
I'm just another human out there.
Okay.
So no, you're doing great, and your band score would be, I think, for these answers, a clear 7.5 to 8 as well. Had you said this to me with confidence, I would also be more confident to give you an 8, maybe even an 8.5. So confidence can easily impact your score by like half a band, and not just because you sound more confident, but because you sound more coherent when you're confident as well, right?
Sure.
So you start strong, and then you kind of really get very quiet and insecure near the end, and that makes it like I have to really focus on you. And if the examiner starts to have this attitude where they're like squinting their eyes and leaning towards you to try to hear you and focus on what you're saying, then that's going to impact their score, right? So you want to just carry that strong voice. Everybody out there, a couple of good points. So Alexander did some things really well here, and it's important to emphasize that. First of all, he was natural, and he was intelligent in the answer. So he says, let me think a bit, right? So he didn't just jump right, well, I would love to play basketball, or I would love to just whatever, right? So you took a second and you said, okay, let me think a bit. Absolutely okay, and it's a good idea to do that, especially if you don't have a clear idea. And I can tell, Alexander, that you actually thought for a moment. You're like, okay, let me think a bit. Okay, golf, right? Why not try golf? That's a kind of a fun, relaxing sport that's not too physically straining, outdoor fresh air. And you said I had never tried golf. I would use
Yeah.
the present perfect here, so I would say I have never because there's an
Ah,
expectation.
yeah.
So I have never tried golf, and I know many people who do play golf, and presumably I know it's kind of a fashion. I think that's a little off topic to go that way, but for business people. And then you said, hopefully one day I will enjoy golfing and talking during a golf game. Yeah, so I would focus on why you want to try golf more. So I think the fresh air and social interaction is a healthy way to spend my weekend, or would be a healthy way to spend my weekends. Okay.
Yeah.
So can you just repeat that after me, Alexander? Let me think a bit. I have never tried golf, and I know many people who do play, and I would like to enjoy golfing and talking one day. I think the fresh air and social interaction would be a healthy way to spend my weekend. Okay. Are there any sports you would like to try?
Let me think a bit. I have never tried golf, so I'd like to try it one day because I think it will be good for me for social interaction and for clean air and to have enjoyment of some business atmosphere around. So I would be happy to try golf one day.
Okay, good. Yeah, absolutely. So there you're giving me the answer, you're giving me an explanation. It's natural, it's easily a band-aid. Okay.
Thank
All
you.
right. So that's the direction that you want to do, and keep that kind of strong affirmative voice from start to finish. Okay.
Oh, thank you. Thank you.
So you're doing great, Alexander, and I hope that you'll have a couple of enjoyable games coming at you over the next few days for your favorite teams. I'll be watching as well, and we'll get
I
back
hope
into
as
some
well.
hockey talk next time. Alexander, thank you so
Okay.
much.
Thank you, Adrian. Have a nice day.
You too.
Bye.
Bye, Alexander.
Bye bye. Bye.
All right, that was Alexander. Everybody, give Alexander a thumbs up. Such a great guy, always putting in that extra effort, really focusing on what he says, how he says it. And that's really important when you're learning and when you're studying at home, making sure that you do reflect. Just be confident about it. So regardless of the end result, keep confident or stay confident. Okay, Deborah, I see you're volunteering. Let me just reach out to Deborah. Deborah, are you ready? Deborah, another one of our premium students. By the way, everybody, if you're a premium student and you have this chat page open, look for other premium students and interact with them, because they're probably on the website quite often. You might be able to set up like a regular student partner speaking schedule where you can sit down for 15 minutes. First, one person asks questions for the first 5 minutes, and then the other for the other 5 minutes. So it's a great way to improve. Okay, Deborah. Hi, Deborah.
I say,
How are you today?
fantastic. How about you?
I'm doing. That's a great. I'm better now that you said that, Deborah. I was having a good day. Now I'm having a great day with that answer. Deborah, can you remind me where you are again in the world?
I'm from Ghana.
Ghana. Yeah, in my head I was thinking Nigeria, but I'm like, I don't think that's correct. Ghana. Okay, got you. All right, Deborah, do you have an IELTS exam booked anytime soon?
Not yet, but I'm planning to write it somewhere March next year.
March. Okay, that's great. So you've got a good amount of time to really get ready, which is smart. Okay, that's really smart. All right, Deborah, I'm going to ask you a couple of questions for part one. Are you ready?
Yes, sir.
All right, let's do it. What are your hobbies?
Well, I'm usually fan of playing Ludo, at times football with some of my neighbors. Just last weekend, we had a football match between other two next neighbors, and I was able to score about 3 goals.
how often do you play sports?
Well, I usually play football every weekend, but currently, due to my workload as a midwife, as I said previously, I usually do that whenever I'm off.
Are there any sports that you would like to try?
Yeah, given the opportunity, I would love to try golf because I see it is one of the sport that doesn't requires much energy, and the risk involved is less as compared to football and athletics.
When is a good time for you to go on a trip?
Well, I think it would be best to go for a trip either ending of the month or early in the month because by then I've received my monthly salary, so I can enjoy much at any place. Just about 2 months ago, I went to one of the castle in Cape Coast with some of my colleagues at work, and we had fun.
Have you ever traveled to a tropical country?
Not yet, but when given opportunity, I would love to go to Ireland.
If you could go anywhere in the world, where would you go?
Well, given opportunity, I would love to go to United Kingdom. That is why I'm preparing to write it our exams and go to UK to work as a midwife. Because looking at the other midwives who are working over there, their salary is 10 times better than a midwife working in Ghana.
Okay. Deborah, I'm going to stop there for a moment and give you some feedback. All right. So your speaking is definitely at about the 7 to 7.5 level. Um, for me, your accent is a little bit tricky to understand at times, so I have to kind of really lend my ear or pay attention to catch some of the words, and especially not just because of your accent, but because you're speaking quickly. Okay, so of course English is spoken with many accents around the world. And Deborah, here's the strange news: I understand you easier than if I talk to one of my friends in Ireland. Sometimes when I do that, I have to ask them like 3 times, what did you just say? And they have to ask me too. So even within English dialects, and I know in Ghana English is English a second language in Ghana, Deborah?
Yeah, it
It
is.
is, right? So many people speak it from a young age, and many people in Ghana have this accent that you have, right? So it's basically like a native accent of English. It's just very different from the Canadian accent, so it's tricky for me to hear. So here's a really important tip, and listen up, everybody, okay? This isn't just for Deborah, because you could be in the same situation as well. English is the official language, second language of India as well, and many other countries. So, Deborah, when you're in the exam, if your examiner is British or American, okay, make sure to slow down a little bit, because there's a chance that, especially if they haven't spent much time in Ghana, they might also still be getting used to the accent. So it's a good idea to just slow down 10%, because you're speaking really fast anyway. Even if you're 10% slower, Deborah, you're still natural. Your fluency is fine. Okay?
Okay,
Okay.
okay,
You're speaking a little bit on the fast end, even for natural English. So slow down 10% and really just emphasize the words. So again, it's empathetic speaking. If your examiner is from Ghana, then it's probably not as much of an issue because it's the same accent, so they'll pick it up, right? So it's fine, but
okay,
just do pay attention. And that's an important tip for everybody else as well. So pay attention to your examiner and their accent. So if it's very different from yours, then be like, oh, okay, maybe I have to really pay attention, make sure they understand me. Okay. Because if they don't understand you, they will drop your score, even if it's good English. That's just a strange reality. Okay. So Deborah, I did catch most of what you're saying. Okay. You have to be careful with
okay,
content. Deborah, have you ever traveled to a tropical country? You said not yet, but given the opportunity, I would love to travel to Ireland. What's the problem with this answer, Deborah?
Sir, please come again.
Yeah. I asked you, have you ever traveled to a tropical country? You said not yet, but given the opportunity, I would love to travel to Ireland. There's a couple of big problems with this. What's the logic? What's the problem with the logic here?
Hello, sir.
Yes, I'm here, Deborah. I can hear you.
You are asking if there's any problem with
Yes.
the answer I gave.
Yes.
Um, I said, given the opportunity, I'll travel to Ireland.
What's the question?
You said, have I traveled to any tropical country before?
Is Ireland a tropical country?
I don't really know much.
No, it's definitely not. Anybody in Ireland will say, we are not a tropical country. Tropical do you know what the word tropical means, Deborah? Tropical? Tropical means close to the equator.
Okay.
With thick jungles and warm weather. Okay. So I think Ghana is kind of a tropical country, if I'm not mistaken, in some parts, but also with lots of moisture, right? So maybe Ghana doesn't have as much moisture, but the Congo is tropical. Okay. So with thick jungle, warm weather, and moisture. Okay. Also, Deborah, use the grammar. So it's have you ever. It's showing present perfect expectation. So, Deborah, your answer should be not yet. I haven't yet.
Okay.
I haven't yet, but when given the opportunity, I would love to travel to Costa Rica and check out the amazing wildlife. Okay, so try this answer. So really pay attention, because Deborah, even if with good English, if your answer is simply wrong, then your mark will go down. So you have to be careful. So can you repeat after me? I haven't yet, but when given the opportunity, I would love to visit Costa Rica and check out the amazing wildlife. I have seen many movies on the jungle there, and it's beautiful.
Okay. I haven't yet, but when given the opportunity, I would love to travel to Costa Rica and check out the amazing wildlife.
I've seen many movies, and it looks amazing.
I've seen many movies and it looks amazing.
Okay. The reason I added that part is for that second present perfect, the I've seen many. Because when the examiner's question is in the present perfect, they're really listening for that present perfect. So you really have to pay attention to showing that grammar and making sure that the answer is accurate. Okay?
Okay.
All right. Deborah, you're doing great, and you have the English skills because you're surrounded by English. As we just said, Ghana has English as a second language. So you have lots of English around you. Just really focus on the content and the accuracy and the grammar. Okay, Deborah?
Okay.
All right. Thank you so much for volunteering, Deborah, and I'm sure you're going to make it to the UK. Just keep doing what you're doing, okay?
All right. I'll try each time you have live class.
All right. Sounds good, Deborah. We'll talk again. Bye for now.
Okay, bye.
All right, everybody. That was Deborah, and I agree with you, Ha Music. She is so sweet. She is so sweet. Okay. Let's see. Let's go with Constellation. We haven't heard from in a while. Let's give Constellation a chance. Constellation, are you ready? Cool. Nice thumbs up, everybody. That's great.
Hello, sir. Can you hear me?
I can. How are you, Constellation?
Oh, I'm pretty well. Thanks for asking. How about you?
I am doing great. Now that is a nice professional response to that question, Constellation. Always putting your best English forward. I love it. Yeah, and thanks for asking me back. Constellation, I haven't spoken to you in a while. Is life treating you well?
Yeah, life has been treating me pretty well. I mean, yeah, I was super busy.
Super busy.
Yeah,
All right. And you're still in Vietnam?
yeah, I'm still in Vietnam.
Okay. Any plans for travel in the near future?
Not in the near future, but I hope that I can do it in the far, far future.
Far, far future. How far are we talking about here, Constellation? Like 20,
Counting in
yeah,
10 years or
10
something like
years.
that.
Wow.
Yeah,
Don't wait. Life goes by. Go next summer. Don't wait so long. All right, ready for a couple of questions?
yeah, I'm pretty ready. I mean, pretty ready because it's been a long time that I haven't practiced IELTS.
Hmm. So the natural way to answer that, Constellation, is I'm ready as can be.
Yeah, I'm ready as candy.
I'm ready
Wow,
as can be. Try to copy my intonation. I'm ready as can be.
I'm ready as candy.
Can be. Can, not candy. Can be. I'm ready as can
Candy.
be. Yeah.
Oh, I see. Yeah, yeah.
Okay.
I'm ready as can be.
Yeah, I'm ready as can be. Okay, that's the expression.
Okay.
Not candy, but yeah, I could see that. All right. Okay, ready for the question?
Yes, as
Okay.
ready as can be.
Perfect. There we go. When is a good time for you to go on a trip?
I think that is the best to go on a trip on summer vacation because normally I have like 1 month vacation, so I can spend a lot of time to go to some beaches in Vietnam, where I always, I mean, dream about visiting.
Have you ever traveled to a tropical country?
Yeah. Well, technically, because I'm living in Vietnam and Vietnam is a tropical country, so I've been visiting here and there in my country, like Nha Trang, a beautiful beach, or Lao Cai, a mountainous area in my country. So there are a lot more to visit in other tropical countries, I believe.
Okay, Constellation, that was really good. Yeah, keep practicing. Make sure that you're keeping up with your English because you have good English and you don't want to lose that. It's kind of like when you have a golden egg laying goose, right? You don't want to lose that goose. So when you have good English like you have, you don't want to lose it. So make sure you keep using it. It is absolutely an asset. So good. Okay, so your first answer. So I would say that those answers would probably get you about a 7.5. So between good and very good. Some aspects were very high level. Some aspects were a little bit off. So I asked you, when is it a good time for you to go on a trip? You said, I think that it's best. The start there had a couple of slight awkward features to go on a trip in summer vacation because normally I have 1 month vacation, so I have time to travel. That part was really nice and clear. Here I would have added a little bit of quantification. I would have said I usually go somewhere warm and relaxing in either June or July, right? So I would have given that 1 month, what that month is. Is it June, July, August, right? So give that month. And then I would just say like last July, I took a trip with my friends to some beach, okay? Whatever the beach is called. Be specific, so give the name of the beach, okay? So that's what I would do to be. So be precise. Always remember that. Answer, explanation, example, strategy. Because with your English, Constellation, as long as you're sticking to that answer, explanation, example, you're going to do great. Are you following me?
Yes, sir.
Yep, yep. Okay. So really stick to that. Don't go off of that. I loved the start of your answer for the next question. Have you ever traveled to a tropical country? If I'm in Vietnam doing the exam, I would, expect this answer. So of course, why not give it, right? You're like, yeah, well, technically I'm living in Vietnam and it's a tropical country. So I'm traveling to beaches and other places, forests that are tropical here in Vietnam. Absolutely, of course, right? You're in a tropical country. So that made a lot of sense.
Yeah.
And that was really good. Here, if you're thinking kind of quickly, logically, you might also say, but I haven't been to a tropical country outside of Vietnam. Or you could say I have. I have also been to other tropical countries outside of Vietnam, like Thailand, Laos, Cambodia, whatever. Okay?
Yeah.
Have you been to any of those countries?
No, not yet. I mean, I haven't traveled to any other country aside from my country. I mean,
Okay,
I like
okay.
travel abroad.
Yeah, so then just very clearly, like a child, right? Say, however, I haven't traveled outside of Vietnam yet, but I'm sure in the future, some neighboring tropical countries like Cambodia or Laos, I might visit at some point, right? Okay.
Yeah.
Do you want to try that one more time? Have you ever traveled to a tropical country?
Not yet. No. Let me go again. So technically, I'm living in Vietnam, a tropical country. So I've been visiting here and there in my country, like Nha Trang, a beach, or Lào Cai, a mountainous area. However, I have never traveled to other tropical countries like Laos or Cambodia, and I wish to travel to this country in the near future.
That's great. Just don't rush, okay? But that's the great answer, okay? All right. Constellation, really good, okay? So focus. So you have good English. Just really pay attention to that content and using that grammar, okay?
Okay.
All right. Keep up the good studies and don't let your English slip. I know it's sometimes hard to find the time, but it's definitely one of your most valuable assets going into your future. So instead of kind of leaving it to the side, give it more attention, okay?
Yes, sir.
All right. Constellation, I hope to see you back again soon, okay?
Yeah, sure. I mean, I will go back tomorrow as well. It's
Great.
nice to talk with you again.
Okay, sounds good. Bye, Constellation.
Bye, sir.
All right, that was Constellation. Give her a thumbs up. Students, this is the student partner speaking. You see all of your premium student classmates in here. Talk with them, interact with them. As you can hear, they're awesome people. So you can access that function through the student partner speaking on the website, along with all of the other goodies like the practice exams, the full interactive course. And of course, you get all of this when you sign up for the premium version by clicking these big red buttons at aehelp.com. Do yourself a favor, join the premium package. It's going to pay you back tenfold. For general IELTS, it's gieltshelp.com. Green background. That's all the time I have for today. But I'm back tomorrow with task 2 for members a little bit earlier. And then at this time, we'll be doing listening part 3 and 4 from our first exam on the website with strategies for the listening. That's going to be for subscribers chat. So subscribing to the YouTube channel is free. Make sure to do it. Thank you, everybody. Thank you, volunteers. Thank you, Carolina, for being here, for moderating. I know you're short on time these days, so I appreciate that. aehelp.com for academic IELTS, gieltshelp.com for general IELTS. Be sure to visit, join, and begin learning for success. Much love to all of you, wherever you are in the world today. I'm Adrian. I'm signing out from Victoria, Canada. See you tomorrow, everybody. Bye for now.